All right, guys. So the Mac is back facing Max Holloway for UFC 329, July 11th at Las Vegas in the T-Mobile Arena. Stacked card from top to bottom. Benoit Saint-Denis, Paddy Pimblett. We got Corey Sandhagen facing up against Mario Bautista, the up-and-comer in the bantamweight division. Some would say the dark horse. Brandon Royval, Lorna Kavanagh, even Cable Stevenson making his debut at minus 2,500 odds, going up against Elijah Eilson. And we're going to go through the entire card, starting off with the early prelim opener of Cody Durden versus Alexandre Costa. Now, me personally, I'm going Alessandro Costa, mostly because he is the up-and-comer. He is coming up the division throughout the entirety of it. Cody Durden being a very wild fighter. Did come off with the win up against, who was it? Against Andre Filo. Alexandre Costa coming off against the win against, who was it? Matt Schnell, which, I mean, that was barely anything, let's be real. But still, Alexandre Costa does have the power in order to be able to knock out Cody Durden. So I am going to go with Alexandre Costa winning this thing by second round knockout. Next up, we got Ryan Gonda versus Zachary Reese. Now in this one's a bit of a mismatched matchup. It really depends on which fighter is going to be implementing his game plan first. Now we do have Zachary Reese coming in at a staggering 6'4" up against 6'1" on Ryan Gonda, but do not be mistaken, Ryan Gonda has incredible power, incredible technique on his hooks, especially inside of the pocket, is able to find his range and is able to find a way to get around the reach of most of the fighters that are taller than him. The only thing I do worry about is maybe Zachary Reese getting past the first two rounds and then Gonda deciding to kind of slow down in the third, letting Zachary Reese win by decision. But in this one, especially with the odds, I'm going to be going with Ronnie Gonda on here by decision, 29-28. I think he's going to be going really heavy on the first round, probably knock down Zachary Reese once or twice, possibly get a finish. If not, then just drag it out into the second and third and then go from there. Next up, John Garza versus Farid Basharat. Now for this one, I can't open up any of the height or reach statistics or their record, but I will say John Garza coming up from Fury FC and then Farid Basharat being the main staple in the bantamweight division. I'm going to go Farid Basharat on this one. John Garza coming up from the regional scene, making his debut, I feel as though isn't going to be great for him. He is very technical. He's able to get in and out of range very well, but it was up against very mediocre fighters, up against a guy like Farid Basharat. So I think he's going to get this one done second round TKO. Next up, middleweight bout, Damian Pinas versus Cesar Almeida. This one I'm going Cesar Almeida. A lot of people would be thinking that I would be going Pinas on this one, mostly because 9-1 coming off of the win up against, who was it? Oh, Damon Schultz. Is it Damon Schultz? But Cesar Almeida carries a lot of power. I think that a lot of these early prelims are just going to come off to who has more power and who is going to connect the earliest. People aren't going to be filling up the arena that quickly. I feel like they aren't going to be doing it up until the Tracy Cortez-Wayne Kong fight. But people are going to be coming in at this moment. People are going to be looking for the knockout, and I think Cesar Almeida is going to get that one done, most likely in the second or third round. It's going to take a while for him to get his range, but then after that, he's going to find a way in order to get things done. Next up, the Wayne Kong, Tracy Cortez headline prelim fight. Now, for this one, I'm going Wayne Kong. I think Wayne Kong is going to get this one done easy. I think she's actually the fighter that is prepared for this spotlight, prepared for this moment. Tracy Cortez kind of on and off on training, she is very active, very good fighter, especially on the ground, but I think that Wayne Kong is going to be able to get this one done, especially considering they do have the same exact reach. And I mean, the leg reach is a bit different, but even still, I think Wayne Kong is going to get this one done second round, if not first round KO. Next up, what I think might be the underrated fight of the card, Luke Riley versus Kai Kamaka III. People do forget, man, Kai Kamaka was a absolute monster in the opening fights of what was it? I think it was UFC 326, 327. No, it was UFC Fight Night. No, it wasn't this one. Where was the other one? Kai Kamaka versus Brown. No. It had to be Hope then. Huh, that's weird. But either way, I am going Kai Kamaka on this one. Unlike the odds are saying, minus 290 for Luke Riley plus 235. I would go with those odds in all honesty. Mostly because Luke Riley does leave himself open for a lot of counters, and Kai Kamaka is the type of person to be able to blitz forward very quickly. The only way I can see Luke Riley get this one done is by TKO up against the fence after possibly landing one of those lead left hooks that he always runs. But I do not think he's going to get this one done. I think Kai Kamaka is going to get this one done. Decision 29-28. Oof. Cody Garbrandt, Adrian Yanez. I'm going to have to go Adrian Yanez. But if I wanted to go with odds, like if I'm betting on this, I'm going Cody Garbrandt. 325 plus 325. You put in $10, you win $32. I'm going with that, mostly because Adrian Yanez is a very good technical fighter, like Cody Garbrandt, up until he gets into a brawl, like Cody Garbrandt. The only thing is, who has the better experience in those firefights? I think Cody Garbrandt is experienced in those, but I don't think the chin's there anymore. Adrian Yanez does have the chin, but Cody Garbrandt does have the power. So in this one, I'm going Cody Garbrandt, odds-wise, just to win. But if I'm going specifics, I'm going Adrian Yanez, KO or TKO, second round. Next up, we all know how this one's going to go. Elijah Eilson versus Gable Stevenson. Debut of Gable Stevenson. I think he's going to get this one done. Let's see who he's gone up against. He's lost against Pericic, and that was it. All right. And that was half a year ago. Only way I could see this one going Eilson's way is by just knockout, and I think Gable Stevenson is just going to take him down, power double, straight in the middle of the cage, and get this one done. Hot take, though, I don't think Gable Stevenson is a top 10 or even a top 15 heavyweight. Even with how bad the division looks, I think Gable Stevenson needs to work on his stand-up. He needs to find the range a lot easier, because once he goes up against these Alexander Volkovs, these Curtis Bladeses, these people who have experience in MMA, not just wrestling on the ground, I think he's going to find a lot of problems. But in this one, we all know it's minus 2,500 for a reason. Gable Stevenson's going to get this one done any way he chooses, any way he sees fit. Next up, Robert Whittaker going up to light heavyweight to go up against Nikita Krylov. Now, Nikita Krylov was known as one of the dark horses of the light heavyweight division, but unfortunately has been on a bit of a skid over his past few fights. Robert Whittaker going up to light heavyweight after realizing that middleweight isn't exactly the easiest of paths for him. Although with Sean Strickland now winning the belt, kind of has opened up, but probably doesn't want to do the weight cut, so he wants to go up to 205. I feel as though he's going to get this one done. I feel as though Robert Whittaker is going to be able to find the range. He's going to be able to get out of the way of Nikita Krylov's jab and high kicks, and I think he's going to be able to get this one done. Nikita Krylov, if he had a better ground game, if he's been working on his ground game throughout the fight camp, I think he's going to be able to get this one pretty easily. But unfortunately, you also have to think that, Robert Whittaker's takedown defense, very good. But we also have to think about who he's been up against. Do I think that Nikita Krylov has the same type of, grappling of Khamzat Chimaev? Hell no. But if he's able to implement a couple of takedowns, make Robert Whittaker think that a takedown's coming, Could be problems. But I'm going to go Robert Whittaker winning this one, decision 29-28. Next up to the main card, first fight, Terrence McKinney, King Green. Now, Terrence McKinney, I have a good soft spot for. You know, he's fought up in the local scene up where I live in Alaska. He's fought in a couple of times. Once he got cut from the UFC, back into it again, going up against King Green. Unfortunately, if Terrence McKinney does not get this one done in the first 2 minutes, it's going to be a long night for him. Most of the knockouts, most of the fights that he's been in has been decided within the first round. And if not, then he's been brutally knocked out. King Green is a master of being able to get out of the way and stick and jab and poke. Now, the only difference in this one is the fact that there is a subtle reach advantage for Terrence McKinney. If he's able to find that and he's able to get his reach before King Green does, I could see this going his way immediately. But until then, it's going to be going King Green's way. So betting wise, I'm going to go King Green. But I really do hope that Terrence McKinney does win this. I'd love to see him up in the top 15. Love to see it. Next up, Loner Kavanaugh versus Brandon Royval. I'm going to go Brandon Royval on this one. I think he is going to be revived. You know, I think he's going to be wanting to get hungry, you know, get back into the top. He did have that great fight with Joshua Van, so it makes it to where people want to see him. He did lose that last fight up against Manel Cap, but I think that his boxing style is something for Loner Kavanaugh in this one. I think that his reach is going to be a problem. His craftiness on the ground is going to be a problem. And I think Loner Kavanaugh is not going to be used to it. And I think that Loner Kavanaugh is going to be susceptible to a lot of hooks, a lot of uppercuts, a lot of pot shots. And once it gets up to the cage, it's going to be a lot of pressure. And I don't think that they're going to be used to it. And I don't think they're going to be ready for it. So in this one, I'm going to go Brandon Royval, decision or knockout second round, but decision 29-28 if I was a betting man. Next up, Corey Sandhagen, Mario Bautista. Now, a lot of people wanted Corey Sandhagen to face Sean O'Malley in the UFC White House card. I think that this is a better idea. This is a better decision because it builds up both stars. If you had Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen on the UFC 250 card, you have two big stars fighting for the main spot. But now you could have had the reality where you had Amy and Zahabi win and Mario Bautista win, and it shakes up the entire division. But if you had Corey Sandhagen and Sean O'Malley, you had a number one contenders fight, which you already technically had with the Sean O'Malley, Amy and Zahabi fight. And then you have an unknown fight on this card with Mario Bautista and Amy and Zahabi. Whereas with this, now you have Corey Sandhagen defending his contender spot against Mario Bautista. If Corey Sandhagen wins, it's him versus Sean O'Malley for the shot of the title up against whoever wins with Petr Yan and Merab. It makes the division a little bit more lively than trying to put all the stock into it for a big card. And I like this one. I think it's a very favorable matchup for Corey Sandhagen, and I think he is going to be able to get this one done. I think Mario Bautista is a bit too technical. He has to be a more wild in his approach up against somebody like Corey Sandhagen. And I just think he's going to be able to get this one done. I think it's got to be by decision. But I think it's going to be a very pot-shotty, very chess match. Probably very grappling heavy approach by Corey Sandhagen, but I think he's going to get this one done. Decision 29-28. Next up, co-main event. Paddy the Laddie Pimblett versus Benoit Saint-Denis, the BSD. I hate to say it, but I think that Benoit Saint-Denis is going to be able to get this one done. I think that this fight and the main card fight are going to show the fact of a new guard being shown up. And it's not the fact of youth. It's not the fact of putting your mouth out there and getting the big fights. It's about putting in the work and showing it through grit and determination. I think Benoit Saint Denis is going to be able to get this one done, and I think he's going to be able to get this one done fairly easily. Him with his judo background, he's a very pressure-heavy fighter. Paddy Pimblett has not been very good with pressure. We've seen that up against Justin Gaethje. We've seen that up against Michael Chandler at times. And I think with Benoit Saint Denis, it's going to be more of the same. He's going to be pressuring him up against the fence, looking for hooks, looking for power shots. And I think Benoit Saint Denis is going to find a couple, especially with Paddy Pimblett's chin being straight up sometimes. And, you know, Scousers don't get knocked out, but I do think that this one is. And I think it's going to happen in the second round, and I think it's going to happen fairly easily. Next up for the main event, we're going to go Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Conor McGregor making his return after 5 years to go up against Max Holloway. In this one, I see it going Max Holloway's way. I think that the welterweight division just makes it easier for Max Holloway to be able to go throughout the 5 rounds. And I think Conor McGregor isn't going to be used to having 170 pounds while fighting for 25 minutes. I think it's going to be a very easy fight for Max Holloway, and I think he's going to get this one done. Decision 30-25, if not TKO in the 3rd round. If Conor McGregor does not stun him or make him tired in any way, shape, or possible in the first 2 rounds, it's going to go Max Holloway's way. I'm going to make a different video about this being more in depth, but basically I'm just going to go Max Holloway. And the odds have it the same way too, with it being -205 plus 170. But Conor McGregor, he hasn't been the same, and I don't think he's going to ever be the same. And so I think it's going to be Max Holloway. I think it's going to be Benoit Saint Denis. I think it's going to be Corey Sandhagen. I think it's going to be Brandon Royval. And I hope it's going to be Terrence McKinney. Those are going to be my predictions and breakdown for the entire card. I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.